Hello and a very warm welcome to Preeti Gupta, a friend of mine, a professional that I've worked with more than a couple of times, and a very wise person whose growth I have been lucky to see in the last couple of years. Welcome to the show, Preeti.
Thank you, Bunty. Thank you so much. And I'm so sorry it took me so long to accept this offer.
No, I think there are a lot of friends who have taken time, but when they've come up on the podcast, and I think both parties, me and them, have been very happy about it. I do understand that this is a very difficult medium to open up on. Finally, it is the camera and it records everything. A lot of it might stay for posterity. We don't know. So it is not easy, but my intent is that to get the best out of us in terms of vulnerability, being unsure, all those things that the world does not celebrate, I celebrate it in this small space. Uh,
All those
so,
things that make us human.
yeah, the idea is because there are a lot of people who might not have the same confidence that you and I have now. They may be going through dark times, and if they just see a minute or two of the podcast, or they see something and hear you talking and find something relatable, and it helps them through one difficult curve, even for a little while, I think it is worth it. Uh,
Yes, absolutely.
so today, the topic I am choosing is because you are one of the most practical people that I know, and also I have seen a bit of the emotional journey that you've gone through. Uh, Emotions versus practicality is a topic that is running in my head since the morning,
Okay.
and I have a very interesting question to ask you. Are emotions bad for uh, dealing with the world?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
Yeah. So maybe if you have, asked this question to me a year back or a year and a half back, I would have thought about answering this a little different way. But yes, I have been a very practical person my whole life. My life have been very heavy on the practical aspect of it. But no, you are not human if you are not treating things with emotions. And I have realized this big time after becoming a mother, that how important that connect is to anyone and everyone that you deal with. To but like when you say emotions for you mean kindness, empathy, love, right? These couple of emotions that you handle people with. So what are we if not them? Will be my answer. So no, I read this book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, and you have these two aspects of life. One is very practical, outer, and one is inner. And many times in that book, you will find this reference where outer thing lasts for a very small time. But once you uh, answer the root cause of it, which is obviously via some emotion, or you have to deal with it emotionally, then only you can find the actual solution. And when it comes to people, I don't think there is any other way to handle them.
hmm. What about the aspect of fear that comes along with emotion that if I open up to you, you may take advantage of my situation? What happens to that?
To operate from fear, Bunty, is a very bad place to be. I have been in that place for last 2.5 years, and it brings you down, it breaks you, and it is a very bad place to be, to operate in anything in life, in your marriage, in your business, or being a mother. To operate from fear is the worst that you can do to yourself. Okay. So, anybody listening or anybody asking me, I will never recommend that. I will never suggest that you be a fearful. You don't share something, or you don't ask a question because you fear about it. Because that is the only way where growth is going to happen. And the ultimate, I think the nature of existing of this universe is growth. as a person in life, in age, everything just grow. And you are also here to grow. And there is no growth until unless you pass that barrier. Everybody has to do that in their own pace. You cannot rush it. If somebody is not ready, you really can't force them. But that is a bad place to be.
What about so while fear is one aspect of that question, the other question is being taken advantage of. So that feeling of scarcity, this feeling of, uh,
How many times it actually happens? I really want to. It happens in our brain more than it happens actually. It I know we see a lot of reels and we see a lot of bad things happening in the world, but trust me, it is not that bad. I don't think it is. It is just that earlier it was not seen that way. Now we have medium that we are seeing a lot of it, but everything was happening earlier also. That the being taking advantage of, maybe people have one or two such experience, but in I personally, I have come across a lot of people, I have worked with a lot of people, I have operated from a place of fear for a very long time, and in the end I came to know that it was all in my head. Nobody was doing that to me.
yeah.
Nobody actually took advantage of me. People were there to help.
So what made you practical and what, of course, your motherhood has had a huge impact on you, as is known to me, and I guess very common to a lot of people that I know, friends that I know. But what made you practical? What was your strength at that point of time? And how do you now look at it? Was it anything negative at all, or was there uh, space that you wanted to see where growth wasn't happening? How do you view your earlier experience before you became a mother in that sense?
So I would love to talk about this transition that has happened, because that is a very recent realization that I also had in my life. That yes, the kind of childhood I have had, kind of experiences and the struggle that I have to go through, all our us, our generation, everyone has gone through those kind of struggles. Some in some way, some in other way. So I have shouldered a lot of responsibility since I was really small. I didn't had sense of the world, but I really took care of myself from the age of 8 and 9. Okay,
Oh,
so I had this grit, that I have to show, I have to prove, I have to get out, I have to make a life for myself. I don't want to live this life, I want to be better. I had a lot of fire that fueled me. Okay, and that fire, that passion and that determination really took me to a certain part of my journey. Okay, and then it added with the love of what I do. So that was a beautiful combination that I had, the fire that I had and the love for the work that I do. I was not doing a boring IT job that I didn't enjoy, and I was doing something that I really loved and cared about. So that this mix was so beautiful that my journey really skyrocketed. I did very well for myself, you know. But there comes a point when as I told you, the ultimate goal of this human life, as per me, is growth. Okay. And that fire, that fuel can only take you to a certain level. And then you have to ask the question that, is this who I want to be more than what I want to do and how much money I want to make? Especially after you become a mother, you have to ask this question, is this the human I want to be? Is this what I'm supposed to do? Is my existence on in this earth is to do event and make money? No, it's a very small thing.
okay,
Okay? And to answer that bigger question, you have no other way than to evolve.
okay.
And in that journey I came across, मैंने guru diksha li last year. Okay, I came across a guru, and when I took guru diksha, something changed inside me. I just became closer to the it's the same journey. It is so funny that every person you talk to who have achieved something in their life, it's the same journey that they will talk about, that you have to be closer to the almighty, you have to surrender, You have to trust what he is doing for you. It's the same thing for everyone. Just their journey is different and their time is different. So that really changed inside me last year. That happened. And from there, my journey of introspection, matlab, I started looking inwards than outward. That rather than, what I want to do and what I want to be, what kind of person I want to be. And from there, this transformation came in my life. So earlier, I was doing everything that I'm doing now, but I was anxious, I was fearful, I was insecure. But right now, I'm operating from a place where I know कि जितना तुम्हारे हक में है तुम्हें मिल जाएगा कैसे ना कैसे.
My question about this aspect, I will not go deeper as of right now. But my question is, uh, when it initially starts the dark space, uh, you have just let go of a certain kind of growth
Yes.
to start looking at this, or you've been forced to by life or circumstances, whatever. It's not good.
Very bad. It's very bad.
So I want to know if pre Guru Diksha, pre feeling that you've resolved things, you had this dark space. What is that point that kept you going? Let me stick with this. Let's see what happens. Because the patient, so if you're talking 2.5 bad years and you're talking 1 year of this change, so 1.5 years is a long time. And it's
Yeah.
every day is like a year when you're feeling bad. I
Yeah.
mean, every morning is like that, every afternoon is like that. So there is a lot of pressure to keep seeming normal and yet having to deal with your demons that you can't even name sometimes. You are unaware. So, how and what kept you going in that space? Can you take us through that? Whatever is possible for you to share.
It was a very bad time, as rightly described that it affects every aspect of your life when you go through that hard time. There were nights I was not sleeping. In rows, I was sleepless. I was like headless chicken. I was moving. I was just, but I was not able to delegate. I was not able to form a system. My health was impacting to such extent that my vertigo triggered and I was bedridden for say a month. I did that to myself. Till 4 o'clock in the night, I will be up and thinking about what to do differently, how to do it differently. And my personal relationship with my husband suffered a lot because all the all the anger that I had, all everything just came out on him. Okay, it suffered to the extent where Bunty we have also thought about this is not working out. I think we should find some other way. Okay, and nobody was at fault. No, nor he was at fault, nor I was at fault. It's just I was just not happy. And when you are not happy, how to give happiness? It is impossible to spread happiness when you don't have any inside, you know. So it was very, I don't know how to put it in words, but it was a very bad time. And only thing that kept me going is that I had this little soul, I had this little daughter, and I know that I had to push through. I had to push through this time just to, I didn't want it to be anything. I didn't want it to be a wife. I didn't want it to be a sister. I didn't want it to be a daughter. But the only thing that I had to be was a mother. Okay. And that is, I think that is the only, that is that rope that pulled me out of that darkness.
Okay. Um, thank you. One of the things that you mentioned here is that I wasn't happy, so I was not able to spread happiness. This is something, incidentally, my kid is the reason why the values workshop is on because she kept asking me why wasn't I doing what I was asking her to do. And those kind of conversations as she was growing became very difficult. And I was talking to my friend, I said, and I was honest. The good part was that although those were difficult conversations, I was telling him, she said, if this is bad, then how come you're doing it? I said, I'm trying to stop, but I'm unable to. So if I was getting angry or something, and she said, "Okay, oh, so even you can't manage certain things." So then he said, "This is a topic that relates to all of us, and you can go out and make a podcast out of it." So that's how the values workshop came, and workshop actually being at work, we are all discussing problems, solutions, techniques, tools, things like those. So my question to you, even now as she is growing, I have this conversation with her where I've been trying to tell her, look, it's good that you are poised for studying and making a name for yourself and going and reaching somewhere. But always remember this one thing, that this whole fight in humankind is about happiness. It is not about success. This is a falsehood that has been perpetrated, but she's far too young to
Yeah,
get
she
it.
will not understand it.
Ah, and all her friends her peers are on the way, and once just ahead of her, my brother's kid and my sister's kid, they are ahead of her. They keep talking. Uh, they also are facing certain kind of problems, but they all don't see that this is a no-win situation. How much ever you win, there is something that is always going to be less. So my question specifically is, are you doing anything specific to go out and spread this happiness now that you are happy? I'm saying there will be a lot of other people who are in your space right now, or anybody else. I'm just asking, is there anything that you are deliberating over? Because dark spaces help dark spaces is my understanding. Not light doesn't help dark space, because then you're just giving gyan, and the person in the space doesn't want to listen to you. They don't want ready-made answers. They want empathy, kindness.
Yeah, they
So
want.
how are you seeing this?
I have I'm so sorry, Bunty. I have not thought about this, and I am deliberately not doing anything to help anyone. I would like to explore that if that is a possibility. बट मेरे एक्सपीरियंस में मुझे एक बात और रियलाइज हुई है कि मेरे पास बहुत सारे लोग थे जो मुझे हेल्प करने के लिए तैयार थे इमोशनली. आप थे, मेरी सिस्टर थी, मेरी भाभी थी, who have gone through this journey of dark spaces in life and have achieved happiness, being where they are. And they kept on telling me that what you're doing is this is not the way, you have to focus. They kept on telling me everything that I am telling you right now. But वो नहीं, it is a journey that you have to take. You have to sleep through the night to see the morning. Okay, there is no shortcut around it.
Hmm.
This is a journey that, yes, these people, at least they are these golden dots that keep reminding you that this can be achieved, this can be achieved, but this is a journey that one has to take. I really believe in that. So
True.
I am not doing anything deliberately as of now, but I think just by being happy, I have changed the aura of my home. As of now, those people, I have touched them and I see the difference in their life. Okay.
Yeah.
And that is the small circle that I'm starting with. And
Wonderful.
then I want to spread it to my work, to the people I work with. But that is how I,
Yeah, yeah. That is the answer I was looking for. I did not. I would pray that this becomes the first step of a formal journey where you actually go out and do something about it. But having said that, yes, you are right. Your being happy is good enough, because your first duty anyway is towards yourself and figuring out how to be at ease.
yeah.
Because the rest of it is, like you said, somewhere we are creating disease for ourselves. The vertigo thing, we are
That,
actually doing this.
yeah.
And another point that you brought up, I want to focus a little on this. I won't ask you a question, but I want to comment. That is a very beautiful insight, that we are watching a lot of negative space in our social media and stuff like that. And there are a lot of things that world is crumbling and this is happening, that is happening. It's been affecting me for quite some time. In fact, one of the guests, I think in the last or the one before that, said that it is how you look at it that makes the difference. And I was looking at the world where there is not much to be happy about. You want to do a terrible lot, but you don't know where to start, what to do. Very often, and you may not want to commit yourself, your own responsibilities take over. All those things are definitely there. Uh, so thank you for bringing that up as well, because uh, the world is not really that bad. You yourself kind of make the world what it is. If you are good, if you are honest, if you are basically decent in all your dealings with everyone, try not to hurt anyone, and also safeguard your own happiness as much as possible. I think it's a okay
It's the
journey.
only thing. Like in my journey, I can tell you, I have come across so many people who have done so much for me, Bunty, who have helped me, who have been kind, who have been empathetic, who have gave without asking anything in return.
Hmm.
I have got a beautiful family, an amazing husband, very good in-laws. Like it has not just happened by chance, and it cannot be happening only to me.
Of
Okay,
course.
I'm sure there are many people. So as I told you, we create our demons. We really create our own.
Yes.
Nobody
Yes.
else is responsible for that.
Okay. Uh, one problem that I find in the coming generation is, while emotions are good, like you put it, but there is another aspect to pulling it on one side far too much. So there is anxiety, there is depression, there is this, and there is this whole thing about, oh, the world ought to do something for me, and not picking up responsibility to take practical decisions and moving forward. That is another end of the spectrum which keeps on creating a lot of mental health issues for lot many people. How do you, in your personal life, now that you have a mix of both, what is the what is the way forward in your head more than outside? What do you do to ensure that the happiness doesn't become laziness, for example? That you're happy, you have a kid, and okay, I don't want to work and I'll just do this, and it is fulfilling. There is no question about it, and it's far more, by far, one of the most important things in the world. Uh, Although not seen as such, because housewife है, कुछ नहीं करती है. This is a very myopic and a very small way of looking at things, and people don't understand what is happening behind. But my question to you is more as a working person and a mother. How do you figure out the balance? And I'm sure there are clashes of schedule that happen, and you have a client meeting, and there is a who will drop your kid to school or something. How do you find those, and those are difficult on some days. How do you come to a point where you manage your emotion also and you are practical also?
Question is so easy to me because you know what? I love working. Oh my God, I love it so much that I have called my company, my business as my first baby, and I have loved it that way. So it was not a difficult choice for me, and it will never be. That I will. I don't think I come from a place where I can choose to be a housewife. Nothing against them, but I find that job to be far more difficult, to be in a house and to be responsible for one's soul so much that you lose yourself, you tend to lose yourself. I think that is a very difficult task to do. I would want to, I look forward for those days. I love my kid, every mother does. I love to spend time with them, but I look forward for 3 4 days that I get in a month away where I am doing my events. And how did I find my balance is it's I would say a God grace that Umesh, my husband, really cooperates when I am not in he take care, he takes those responsibilities. And I told you, God has been so kind. He has just put in such kind of beautiful people in my life that it just falls in place. Being the house help that I have, or my mother-in-law shows up, and no, I don't feel guilt. I feel zero guilt leaving my child for work, because when I am there, when I don't have work, I am invested like how? You know, but like I am invested like we talk like we are sisters, we are friends. I go down to her level, be a child with her, play with her, and that is very fulfilling for her and myself.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a parent, I don't look at these long hours that you have to be with your child like throughout, you have to do everything for them. It was very difficult. That 1 year that I have suffered, was because of that. Because I wanted to do everything. I wanted to be an excellent mother. I wanted to provide for the house, and then I wanted to be there for everything. And I was just tearing myself in pieces.
Hmm.
Okay. And I had to let go of it. I had to let go of it, and I had to believe, I had to trust that a child is brought into your life for you to learn. They are going to grow. They are going to become the person that they are going to become. You have very little part to play in it. You can form their habits, you can form those kind of things, but their soul internal, what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are going to show themselves with time. So this balance comes very easy for me. I don't find it difficult, because it is like, when you have two kids, you love them equally, right? You are not partial to one and not partial to another. That much I love doing what I do.
And
Yeah,
what
that it
what
does not break
I
my heart.
what I take from it is that you're saying be present wherever you are.
Exactly.
Don't be in two spaces in your mind. Just be, if you are at work, just do your work. If you are with your kid, just be with your kid. If you are with friends, you be with your friends. Do what you are doing 100%.
Yes, there is no other way to do it.
Yeah, but like you said, it is a journey.
I
Unless you go
told
through your,
myself, yeah, I told myself it took like 1.5 year of realization that you can't be everywhere, you can't do everything. You are taking too much on yourself, and then you
hmm,
have to let go. Yeah, so yeah, it is a journey. It took some time, but where I am right now, that it is a very, and I told myself that this is not wrong. You really enjoy what you do. You are not suffering in your work. It's not like you are doing it just to make money and just to make ends meet. You are not doing it for that. So I think basically, to find happiness, it is very important that whatever you do every day, what work you are doing, either you do what you love, or matlab, for your own mental health, you start loving what you do.
yeah.
Otherwise, life is miserable, Vanti. It is miserable going to office every day
Yeah.
and being on a job that you don't want to do. I think the biggest life and biggest thing that I have learned seeing people around me is, you have to do what you have to do. If you don't love it, you better find a way to love it.
Yeah. So much wisdom in every answer. You're making me pause and I forget that I have to ask you the next question. There is something I want to ask you here. Um how do you explain this to your kid? How do you communicate this part to your kid when initially you start picking up the reins of this, saying, okay, I'm getting my business back on track and I'll be spending a few hours uh, trusting that my kid will be taken care of, but I will not be the one doing it. Did you have to communicate that to her? And how did she react, or was this a non issue?
I don't think this will be an issue with any parent. You are a father yourself, you have a daughter. They are so simple creature. Okay? They be what they see. It is so simple with them. Okay? That is the only language they understand. She understood very, I remember the first event that I did apart from her. I left her for 5 days when she was 2 years old, and I was nursing her. I just stopped breastfeeding and I went to Vietnam, and I cried myself to sleep every night in Vietnam. I cried that I am a bad mother. I am not doing this right. And this kid here was flourishing without me.
Hmm.
She had no problems. She adjusted, she adapted. Bunty, they are so magical. I really believe that they are, brought into this life. अब हमारे में हमें बहुत कुछ सिखाने के लिए बच्चे आते हैं. तो उसको कुछ भी नहीं चाहिए था, ये सब मुझे ही अपने दिमाग में मुझे सेट करना था. इफ शी सॉ दैट आई एम हैप्पी व्हेन आई एम विद हर, आई एम प्रेजेंट एंड आई रियली एंजॉय डूइंग व्हाट आई डू, it did not matter to her at all. Or God has been really kind to me. Since childhood, I know when I was very small, I used to call myself God's favorite child. For some reason, it was in my head, and I used to call myself God's favorite child. So either I am blessed with a kind of child who doesn't struggle, or other way I see it is I didn't create a big issue about it in my head, so she was okay with it.
Yeah, it may be a mix of both as well.
Yeah, it
And maybe a third thing altogether, that her karma is good enough and we don't even play a part. We like to be important. That's all, perhaps. Very often that too happens.
And thanks to my in-laws and Uvesh, like they always stepped in whenever I needed them. They always stepped in, and she was so comfortable in their company that it was never a problem.
Yeah. What makes you think that this happiness will last? Because the problem that came earlier was also not anticipated. So it's a tough question to think about when you are happy, but I want you to go a little deeper into yourself and see. Uh, I'm not saying that you have to be fearful that something will go wrong, but that is the nature of life. Change keeps happening, and something or the other keeps coming or going. What is the lesson that you have from your earlier learnings that you take, that no matter what the situation now, I know uh, I'll be steady, or I'll find my ground no matter what is happening.
No, I am very sure that is not going to happen. I am very sure that I am going to see the dark days. I am going to break down, and then, but what I am sure about is it that I know now, I know the ultimate goal. Okay. I am not in the dark. I am not just going without knowing where I'm going. I know where I'm going. So I'm going to have, tomorrow if I fall sick, somebody in my family or Kinza is hurt, those bad days are going to come. Okay, nothing lasts forever. If I'm happy right now, I am very sure it is not going to last forever. Okay, that curve wall is going to come. But I know where I'm going, and I know I have developed tools to pick myself up. It is very important that you have those small tools, like it maybe it is talking to someone, doing something, find something that picks you up, because you have to keep picking yourself again and again. Nobody in this, who you tell me, ये possible है that कि आप हमेशा खुश रहो या हमेशा दुखी रहो? ये तो चलती ही नहीं है ना ऐसे दुनिया.
Yes. So, what is the difference between the happiness you have now and what most people think as happiness and get attached to it?
The problem is the attachment.
Huh? What is the attachment?
I
Sure.
think that is the problem, that if you get attached to it, no, this is the state of mind I want to be. I wake up and I want to feel like this every minute, every day. That is the problem.
Yeah, wonderful answer. Um, how did your immediate family benefit from your happiness? You've been saying this, but if is there a particular example that you can bring up where we understand, okay, because you are happy, you're doing something that makes them happy, directly, indirectly, or friends or workforce. It's not important who's the recipient of your being in a good space. I mean to say, how do you ensure that they are also, that you are not unhappy is a good space. Obviously, they are happy about it. But I'm saying, is there anything more where you, is there any deliberate, so if you're in a good space, like I try and do some days, I've recently learned very small amount of cooking, but
Hmm.
now that my mom was unwell, so I got the kitchen to myself, and then I could really do what I've been wanting to do, and nobody to tell me. But it also helped grow in confidence. Not that I just went and did whatever I wanted, but
Hmm.
at least I could ask her, okay, I'm doing this, does this work or not? But little nuances that you want to add your own thing and try this or try that, so that I could do. and it gave me a lot of happiness while I was also serving my mother. So it was a fulfilling thing for me. It wasn't like, oh, this is this huge duty or something. So, but it is because I have been in a, I am in a happy space more or less most times, and it is a choice rather than the circumstance. So it doesn't happen. But my question to you is, okay, how does it impact your family or friends or
Yeah,
workforce?
I see it every day. It is not one instance. It is something that happens every day.
Hmm.
Like in I एक डेढ़ महीने में मुझे याद नहीं है कि मुझे किन्जा को डांट के या चिल्ला के डिसिप्लिन करना पड़ा हो यू नो क्योंकि वो मुझे करना ही नहीं पड़ा डिसिप्लिन मैं अभी भी कर रही हूँ एज पेरेंट्स शुड डू बट इट इज नॉट कमिंग आउट ऑफ एंगर and I can see the changes in her personality when I am not operating out of anger or you have to do this but it is coming. I am disciplining her but from a place of happiness and love you know so like I have made a routine कि आपको रोज पढ़ाई करनी है. It used to come out of anger, frustration. It was a burden for her. Yesterday, I am telling you, in the morning, she had 10 minutes to go to the school and she came to me and she said, Mama, मुझे थोड़ा writing, spelling कराओगे क्या आप? Because suddenly this small activity has become fun for her, which was a big burden. Okay. Before going to school, she wanted to recite those spellings that I have been making her learn. So it was a huge change for me. Yeah, that she's not finding it a burden anymore because मैं उस पे चिल्ला नहीं रही हूँ. She's that energy has changed. Umesh had this very bad पैर में उसको एक infection हुआ था. It was just going bad and bad. Now he's still taking treatment and everything. But oh my God, how powerful women are if they understand how much their energy matters in a house. Then they will really start to behave differently. His leg is healing, which is a big thing because when I am happy, he is happy. I am source of his happiness. He knows or he doesn't know it, I don't know, but I know that I am. So his leg is healing. He is going to gym every day. I can see him making more efforts for his work, so everything is just working out positive in his life. And I would like to say, or I would like to take a credit here that it has sprouted from me.
Wonderful. I am unsure whether it works like that. I think a lot of it is karma also, things also, time also. But as long as we are happy, we can take the unhappy parts also quite willingly. It's not that things don't happen that are so.
But
We are talking.
nothing in your body happens that is not related to your mind. As I told you, we were going through very bad phase, and that bad phase has उसका disease, उसका पैर का heal नहीं होना. I could sense it in my belly that it is happening because we are in a very bad place right.
Hmm.
And then obviously he found a solution. He found a doctor, but this also changed.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good space that you're speaking of, and it is a very good chat we've had because we are talking from a happy space, but we are talking only about things that don't go right, more or less. And that is very good because it gives you perspective that doesn't happen from a dark space towards a dark space.
Yeah.
Because there we get overwhelmed with the negativity of it.
Or you have to live it. You have to really live it. If you want to get out of it, I don't think people should look for a quick fix कि ये कोर्स कर लो, ये मेडिटेशन कर लो, इससे बात कर लो. ये no, when you need to cry, you need to cry.
Hmm.
Okay? If it is one day, 1 week, 1 month, you आपको वो इतना sink in होना पड़ेगा ऊपर आने के लिए. You have to live that part.
Wonderful. I hope people who aren't married also find a lot of happiness, even though they don't have kids, but they should understand the perspective that is being shared is letting go at some point of time, whatever your view is, whether it is happiness or unhappiness, that it is one part of what is happening to you. It's not the full 100% of the experience, is what is coming to
And
me from.
as you rightly said, and you have always said that, and I stand by it, that it is a conscious choice. We have heard this in court, we read it every day, but एक दिन आएगा जब आपको ये strike होगा. कि ये ऐसे ही नहीं बोल रही है पूरी दुनिया, सारे गुरु, सारे लाइफ कोचेस ऐसे ही नहीं बोल रहे हैं. इट इज ट्रू. या
जी.
इट इज द चॉइस दैट यू हैव टू मेक.
Wonderful. So thank you for your time, and it's been a like amazing. One of the rare conversations I've had where I have to actually think up of questions and say, okay, now what do I ask? She's completed it so well that I want to.
Because you were looking for you were looking for someone else, not me.
No, not in that sense. I mean, so what happens is when the answer comes, I know some part of the answer triggers a question. I don't know what is that question that comes up, but your answers were complete in themselves, and I wanted to ponder on them, but that doesn't help the questioning mind. So thank you. It's been an amazing look into your life in the last couple of years. I think it was also a catching up of sorts. Uh, Glad that you made it out in a manner which is so fulfilling. I am not a I am not a positive thinker at all. I always think negative, and I think it's very useful because it keeps you alert and in the mode to be ready for whatever comes. But I am happy. It doesn't make me negative about things per se. So it is an amazing thing to see this kind of attitude in action, as you've talked about with so many examples at home and at work. So all the very best in whatever you're doing as of right now, and I shall see you soon.
Yeah. Let's catch up off the screen to talk more in detail
Yes,
about
surely.
that.
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.